Steve Kenyon of Greener Pastures Ranching is an outstanding rancher and custom grazing consultant. And he was also on the board of directors for Gateway Research Organization and played a key role in proposing and designing the Pastured Heifer Project, which is one of the interesting research projects that he's going to cover tonight. So we'll get to hear all about that one.
All right, thank you very much. I'm a go.
Yep, sounds good.
My 7 minutes is starting, is it?
Tara's got the timer out.
Oh, good. Well, you're setting the bar pretty high if Steve Schneider was the first speaker on this. And I apologize to you, anybody who's looking for Amber. You get the second-rate speaker tonight, but I'm happy to be here. Amber couldn't make it today, so I stepped in for her. So, and yeah, no, it's a good topic today. I've got 3 different points that I want to make and see if I could get your hearts pumping. Isn't that what I was supposed to do? Hearts pumping. Okay, well, I got 3 topics I'm going to just brush on quickly. First off, I guess I'm representing the Gateway Research Organization. Actually, Amber would be representing the Gateway Research Organization. It is an applied research association in Westlock, Alberta, and it covers, I think, 6 or 7 different counties. And they do all sorts of little research projects, and it's run by a producer-run board. So it's unbiased and run by farmers. So that's why I really support these different associations across the province. So I'm a big fan of them. I guess I better start this actual presentation, shouldn't I? Then it'll actually move for me. See, I have 7 slides. I was told 7 slides. But it's not starting. Okay, there we go. Okay, so one of the projects that we set up with the Gateway Research Organization is at their Grow Heifer pasture. Now, this pasture has been under Grow's management for like 30 years or something. It's been under there a long time, but it was always pretty plain. When I took over, there was not enough experiments being done out there, and so we decided as a board that we're going to change this around. We're going to do it as a demo and show some different things out there. So this is the current map. If you look at there's 4 quadrants. So we kind of divided into 4 quadrants. The top right-hand quadrant was what they all looked like before. So they were all long rectangles. But so that would be a 1 alley system with long rectangles. Across from it now, we've converted it to squares to see the different shape by going to that the water site. The blue circles are, of course, water sites. And then the bottom left, we did a wagon wheel or a pie or a self-center version. So we just did 4 paddocks out of that as if it was a full wagon wheel. And the bottom right-hand corner, we ran a pipeline out to the middle. We had to move it slightly to the north of middle because it was on a high spot, but we ran a pipeline right out there and put water in the middle. So then there's no alley system there at all. So 4 different types of cell designs we're trying to show. We tried to show different fencing as well. And we also are trying to show different types of grazing. So you see the M and the C. The C is a continuously grazed paddock. We've got 5 or 6 heifers out there every year continuously. They graze the whole paddock for the whole season. And right next to that, the M represents mob grazing. So all of the other paddocks are what we would call regeneratively grazed. They're moved probably twice over rotation. So some years they'll get 2 rotations. Once in a while, they'll get 3 maybe. But that mob grazing paddock, the M, when we hit it really hard. We strip graze it probably every 4 hours we move a fence. So we're hitting it really hard. So we're having a continuous grazed paddock right next to a mob grazed paddock. And we're taking soil samples and measurements, and it's we're already seeing difference, and it's only been done for 2 years. So that's interesting to see. We're keeping records out there. Last year, my wife Amber was kind of running it. She ran it through the Maya grazing program. So it was interesting to learn and figure out how that works. And this year she's going to switch just for the experiment purpose. And we're going to use the pasture map system. Okay, so 2 online record keeping systems that we're going to use out there and take a peek at that. And yeah, that's kind of exciting to see with the soil tests and how that starts to come back. And already with the drone footage, there's a very visual difference between those 2 paddocks for sure. Topic 2, working with grain farmers. So how do cow guys and grain guys work together? Well, it's not that easy, but we're doing it. I'm working with one of my neighbors. This is one piece of his land. He's got a lot more land than this, but this is one piece, about 1,200 acres. You can see the pasture there. That's what we took over, is that pasture. It's low land. He wasn't making money on it, he said, every year, because half the time he couldn't seed it, half the time he couldn't combine it. So we took that over, but now we got cows on his land. So then we've also done crop residues. So this little piece we've got fenced, and we did some pea straw residue a few years ago. We also, a couple of years ago, we did this piece, 185 acres of swath grazing. He had a peas and oats mixture that he seeded, a polyculture, which I'm always really excited to see it when grain farmers start thinking polycultures. He was going to combine it. We were going to do the residues, but just with all the moisture we had, it was so late, the oats weren't going to be ready. So we ended up grazing the whole crop, and he was very happy. He made more money than if he would have combined it, he said. So that's a good news. And this is the interesting one that we're started now. Here's some land that his yield monitor has said for years he's never made a profit on. Okay, everything in white here. Just every year, it's just poor land, gumbo. I don't know what it is, just strange. It doesn't grow very good. So now we're going to graze follow it. So you know how you used to summer fallow a field to rest it? Well, I think a much more productive way to follow is to graze follow. So we're going to actually have this for 4 years. We're going to graze it and try and heal this land. So we've taken soil tests before we've done it, and we're going to do it after 4 years, and hopefully we've healed his land so that he might actually make a profit on that. So that's an interesting one. You notice the fence is very strangely shaped. It's because we went around where his yield monitor told us that it was the poor land. So, and we did have done some intercropping as well, and I think we're going to do this field again this year. So looking forward to that as well. And lastly, the Canadian Grazing Mentorship Program. We've just started this up. Farmers for Climate Solutions actually got the money. Canadian Forage and Grassland Association was kind of hired to do it, and they hired me to set it up. So this is a teaching thing. We're going to teach mentors how to promote regenerative grazing. So it's going to be the setup of the pastures, the planning, and the record keeping behind it. So we're calling it an advanced grazing system because there's so many different schools of thought out there on grazing. Hopefully this will kind of get them all in there. The 3 big things that they're trying to do is increase the amount of regenerative grazing management, increase the use of cover crops, and improve the nitrogen management. Okay, so fertility use. Those are the 3 big ones. And there is something like $185 million going into this. So this is how I'm going to get your hearts pumping. I'm going to end this with money. There is an off-calf program that's coming. And I believe ARDAR, which is the funding organization in Alberta, received $33 million just for Alberta for this. So the program is to teach farmers how to do these things. And then the off-calf funding is to actually get you guys some money to do it. And last I heard, I don't know if this is a guaranteed, last I heard it's going to cover 85%. So that's like a first. I've never heard it that loud or that high before. So yeah, and that's the end. Did I make it? How'd I do?
Yeah, I think we got a new leader. You're so close to 7 minutes. You're 7 minutes and 21 seconds. That was awesome.
What?
I beat Steve. That's all that counts. As long as I beat Steve, that's good.
Nicely done. Thanks.
So 3 trigger points.
Okay.
The heifer pasture, the working with the grain farmer, and the new off-calf funding with the mentorship program.
Thanks for having me. I'd like to start by thanking Organic Alberta, inviting Sunrise to present to you and to those who were able to join. I'm a grain merchandiser for Sunrise. This is my 14th year with the company. I've enjoyed my time getting to know organic producers in Western Canada, as well as having a hand in helping grow organic markets. I know we're a bit limited for time, so I do have a quick slide presentation that I would like to share with you. And I will have my contact information at the end. So it'll be nice with a little bit smaller crowd, hopefully in the next couple of days, to get a chance to talk to all of you, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. So just going to share my screen here. Are you able to see it? Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So just a quick company overview. Our organic roots. From humble Saskatchewan beginnings, Sunrise was founded in 1997 by the Neufeld family, organic grain farmers in the Saskatoon, Saskatchewan area. The company started trading specialized organic or agricultural commodities like organic lentils to North American customers. Today, Sunrise has offices in Canada, US, the Netherlands, and Turkey. We serve producers, customers, and manufacturers across the globe, trading in over 40 organic grains and specialized agricultural commodities. Organic impact. Sunrise is increasing accessibility to organic food and feed globally, advancing food security, reducing the environmental footprint associated with food production, bringing healthy, nutritious food choices to the market. Global growth. In 1997, Sunrise was founded. In 2013, Sunrise expands outside of Canada, establishing a US-based subsidiary that is based in Nebraska. And in 2018, Glenn and Ann Neufeld sold their shares in Sunrise. Their son, Jacob Neufeld, remains a shareholder and CEO of the company. In 2019, Sunrise continues to grow its international presence, adding international offices. And in 2020, Sunrise becomes an early adopter of the Organic Trade Association's fraud prevention program. I believe we are still one of only 2 companies worldwide that have finished this program. And then in 2021, Sunrise establishes an EU-based subsidiary in the Netherlands in Amsterdam. What we do, we process, buy, and sell premium organic agri-food commodities sourced from an extensive network of producers and suppliers, and seamlessly deliver to precise specifications worldwide. We work to create a sustainable, efficient global organic supply chain, which assists in the efforts to make organic foods accessible to all. We're about our suppliers and customers, our colleagues and our communities, and always work to meet needs and exceed expectations. Supply chain. From farm to customer, our certified organic products are audited and assured, shipped via truck, rail car, or boat to storage processing facilities or direct to customer. So just a simple breakdown: farmer harvests organic crop, product transported to storage, processing, and or direct to customer. Customer processes product for feed and or food use. This is my contact information here. I don't know if you have time to write it down or if you want to take a screenshot of it. This is our address in Saskatoon, where we accept samples. If anybody happens to be in Saskatoon, we would love to have you stop by. I also have my direct line, my cell number, and then the office line, as well as my email address, or there's a sales and at sunrisefoods.ca, which goes to all of the traders in the company. So yeah, I don't know, with not having that many people, we can maybe look at opening it up to questions, or if it's easier, I can get everybody's name and try and reach out to everybody in the next few days. I don't know, Sarah, what you would prefer, if you want to stay on time with the other presentations, or?
I think questions is all right, if anybody has any questions. And Wade, could you also put your email and your phone number in the chat so people can copy it down?
Yep.
Thanks.
What are your active contracts now, Wayne? What are you looking for?
Let me just open up a different screen here. We are, this time of year, or this, with prices the way they are, it's a difficult time. It's with high prices, it's always easy to buy and more difficult to sell. So we do have a few different contracts confirmed. We are looking for new crop oats, probably in about that $10 range, picked up at the farm, and that's September to December delivery. HRS milling wheat, we're probably looking at $20 based on a 13% protein. get up into the Crete area, up a little farther. I don't know if we have anybody that far north, but probably closer to $19 just because of the extra freight there. We would be interested in some brown flax. In Alberta, we're probably looking about $55 picked up at the yard. That's based on a CGC dockage. I know some of the other buyers do a CGC plus 3%, which you have to take into account when pricing. And that is a September to December delivery as well. We would be interested in yellow and brown mustard. You may want to call for pricing on that. We are struggling to find acres. I know seed is a little tough to find right now, but indication probably $1.20 on brown a pound and $1.25 on yellow. Lentils, we do need a few more large green lentil acres. Be looking about $1 a pound. And then French greens, we would be looking about 85 cents a pound. And most of those are delivery September through December.
Thanks.
Yep.
Any other questions?
I've got one, and I'm never clever enough to find where to raise my hand, so I just did it here. More a comment than a question. Yeah. I'm on the board for the Morinville Seed Cleaning Plant, and I acknowledge that Sunrise has thankfully stepped in to do movement on rail car out of the rail loading facility at Morinville, taking the place of what grain mailers used to do before they built their Rycroft plant. And I just want to do a shout out on behalf of the seed cleaning plant and Sunrise to say, if you've got oats to move, the movement of the rail cars is what's keeping that seed cleaning plant tenuously afloat. So, you know, thank you to anybody who's supporting that logistical value chain. So appreciate it.
Thanks, Ward. Yeah, it's worked out really well for Sunrise. I mean, it's tough for us to buy oats in the far north and get it on rail just with all the restrictions and stuff that CN's put in place. So Morinville has worked really well for us for most of Alberta for getting our oats on rail. A lot of them do go into the US, but they're more to the Midwest. So freight by truck just gets quite expensive for us to try and move it by truck. So having a facility like Morinville works extremely well for us.
It's nice to hear from you, and it's really good to have the support of Sunrise. They're such an important player in our organic world, and it makes a really big difference to have companies that are truly committed to organics and so consistent over such a long time. It helps boost the whole industry a lot. So
great, thank you. Yeah, and appreciate you guys having us a part of the forum.